Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today what we're going to be doing is having a look at one of my favourite cameras, the Canon 1DX Mark II, and look at how it performs in low light. Now the reason why, even though this is a very now quite old camera and we're going to do this video, is because the price of these are dropping so nicely now that these are becoming more affordable. They are still over £1,000, but considering what you get in this camera is something that people really should be looking at. Now this is now value wise the same than the new 1DX Mark I in this case of what you should really be aiming for if you want a pro body DSLR for the best sort of value for money. So I'm going to show you what this can do at low light. I've got a few photos lined up ready to have a look at, and then I'll talk you through some of the things with the camera after that. So let's head on into those images right now. Okay, so the first image we're going to look at here, I took at 10,000 ISO. This is with the 70-200 f2.8, and as you can see, absolutely pin sharp. Now I haven't got AI tracking or anything like that like the R3, but I got the focus point preempted where the eye was going to be. This male had been walking sort of the same path for a little bit, and I just sort of sat there and waited, knowing roughly where his eye was going to be, and managed to track him and get this shot here. And because I was shooting at 2.8, you've got a very nicely blurred out background there, but the face is very nicely in focus. Nose is nice in focus, you've got nice details across the nose as well. So it's showing you that, say at 10,000 ISO, this is a very, very usable image still. And this one here is of an emerald tree monitor, and this was at 8,000 ISO, very high shutter speed as well, just to make sure I got the tongue nicely in focus there. But as you can see, again, this is with 101 macro 2.8, shot at 2.8, and you can see that by the fact that around the tongue is absolutely perfectly in focus, but you just got the foreground and the background is blurred out very nicely. But again, 8,000 ISO, very sharp image still, very usable, great colours still coming from the camera, and just very, very good photo from there. Last one here, leopard coming towards me here. This again was shot at 10,000 ISO with 300mm 2.8 coming towards me again. He likes to do the same routine, so this is why I get quite a few photos, and I use this leopard as a model usually when I'm talking about lenses and stuff like that, because I can almost preempt where he's going to come from. But this time staring straight into me, looking at me as he's walking towards me. His enclosure is very low light, this is through glass, 10,000 ISO, and the eyes are nice and sharp all the way across to his beginning of his nose there. All the hairs there, you can see the details, but behind, in front, everything else is nicely blurred out, and just a very, very sharp and a very, very nice image at 10,000 ISO. So there's some of the imagery that I've taken at that higher 10,000 ISO and above sort of range with this camera. When I originally got this, I've had this now for a good couple of years, and this was when I started taking photos and was using my 7D Mark I. This was like just came out, and it was the Halo product, and it was something that was so unobtainable at the time that I never thought I'd be lucky enough to have one. And now to have the collection I do feel incredibly lucky. And as you can see from the imagery that I've just shown you, that what you can get at those higher ISOs from this camera is definitely, if you're looking for that pro body that's super resilient, water resistant magnesium body with a big battery, it's going to utilize those big prime lenses, big white L glass lenses as best as possible, then this is definitely a solid option. You can obviously go with the 1DX Mark III if you have the extra funds, and you'll be paying over twice as much as one of these are. And I've not used the 1DX Mark III, but it would have to be absolutely spectacular. Obviously it's slightly faster, slightly more megapixels, but it would need to be in another level of greatness to warrant being over twice as much as this camera here. You can get the 1DX Mark I for a little bit less, That again is an absolutely incredible camera. But if you're looking at that sort of £800-900 price point for a good condition 1DX, spend the extra money if you can and go get a 1DX Mark II. Now, the one thing you got to remember and sort of like look for, if you do need to sort of budget for the faster CFast cards that you do have, in this you can use just a CF Express like you do with a 7D, a 7D Mark II, 5D, anything like that. But you do want the CFast card really to get the most out the camera. You get so much more speed. The camera itself just feels sharper. It feels like the imagery you can pull from it, especially in that lower light with a sort of appropriate lens like the 300mm 2.8, or as I've seen even the Mark 1 70-200 f2.8, you can pull absolutely incredible images from that, and the way the camera processes it just allows you to shoot at that higher ISO and still get a nice, clean, very usable image. I've gone out and shot with the 500mm with a 1.4 converter in absolute torrential rain, where it's been super dark, taking photos of polar bears are very contrasting, and the imagery super sharp. Autofocus, absolutely amazing. This in dark, the autofocus is absolutely incredible. You're using that back button focus and it will just track that object. As long as you keep it in that box, it will track the object, no problems at all. I sometimes actually get, in my opinion, slightly better low light imagery from this camera than I do from my R3. I don't know why that is. Maybe I don't, and I just kind of sort of look at this camera through rose tinted glasses or something, but that's why I tend to have this one as almost my backup. So I have my R3 as my main primary, usually the 200-400 or the 500mm lens, and I have this slung on the side with a 300mm 2.8 or a 70-200, something very fast and let a lot of light in. So in those situations where I do need to take some photos in somewhere a little bit darker inside a dark enclosure, or just this time of year in the UK after 2 o'clock the light starts going very quickly, and I always sort of naturally go for pull this camera up and start using it more as that light goes up, as that ISO naturally increases. So it's a very good camera if you are looking for something that works very well in low light. If you're doing sports photography inside halls, for example, and you've got sort of a much lower natural light, if you're taking wildlife photos at dawn and dusk, or if you just want something that is absolutely rugged and and you can depend on, then this is definitely a very good option. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, comment and like as you always do. I always try and reply to every single comment in the comments section, and if you've got any questions, please by all means let me know and I will get them answered as soon as possible. Thanks for watching as always. Catch you in the next one. Goodbye.